In this week's Primal Persuasion discussion, we're going to talk about deprivation. As a reminder, when we're talking about schemas, we're talking about coping mechanisms that you develop as children to survive. Now, everyone suffers from various schemas, but as we're talking about these, we're always talking about the worst case. These things are a scale, so your audience will be affected by multiple schemas for anything you're selling, but at a different level. Let's call it a scale of 1 to 10. Schemas determine how we think, feel, and act. They trigger strong feelings such as anger, sadness, and anxiety. And emotion is what we're looking for in copywriting. When you understand your market's primary life traps, you can create a message that resonates on a psychological level. For deprivation, maybe your market feels like their needs will never be met by others. They feel cheated. They alternate between being angry, hurt, and alone. And that also helps push people away, so they keep reliving the same schema, or what we would call a life trap, over and over again. They have a deep sense of loneliness and emotional disconnection. This schema is actually much harder to find than some of the others. So I'm going to read an excerpt from Reinventing Your Life, the book by Dr. Klosko and Young, where they talk about emotional deprivation. The experience of emotional deprivation is harder to define than some of the other life traps. This is because the original deprivation began so early, before you had words to describe it. Your experience of emotional deprivation is much more a sense that you're going to be lonely forever, that certain things are never going to be fulfilled for you, that you will never be heard, never be understood. It's a profound feeling of emptiness. Some deprivation indicators you can look for in your audience. They need more love, affection, physical contact than they'll ever get. No one understands them. They tend to be attracted to cold partners. They're disconnected emotionally, even though what they want most desperately in the world is to feel emotional connection and love. They believe no one listens to or understands their true feelings, which again leads to this huge life trap that they're in, because what they need, they won't allow people to give them. They have a scarcity mindset. And because this is such a deep subconscious problem, that's probably going to be your biggest indicator. The scarcity mindset, that there's never going to be enough. Common markets with deprivation schemas: relationship. You can see it used in BizOp to a degree. I'd be willing to say that most markets are going to have some level of deprivation because people are looking for something. But again, this is very different for the people who suffer from this schema. This goes beyond, there's something that I need and want. This is, I desperately need this thing, but I'm probably going to stop myself from getting it as well. Stories that work. I put down greed, need, but it's very likely that if you even give them a hint of greed, they're going to run away. They don't want to feel that emotion that I'm being greedy. So you've got to focus on the need. Show them the results that they desperately want. Really make them feel that need. Amp it up. Give them the reason why they failed in the past, why they couldn't get what they need. Make sure they understand that it wasn't their fault. And you're going to have to use a lot of proof of why it'll work this time. Your best bet, because of all these things I just talked about, you're always walking a very thin line with deprivation. Your best tool is going to be scarcity. I've got some examples here. This one, the top one, the Ticketmaster, the time remaining to check out, super great tool for scarcity on that one. I've got a couple of relationship examples here. There's 3 words a man will say to a woman he believes is the one. He'll love and protect no matter how frightening things get, that he will never say under any other circumstance, no matter how long he lives. I find this one is interesting because it gives this person something they can hold on to. This proof element that if I hear this thing, I'm going to be okay. And then I put one up here from Relationship Hero. It's kind of dealing with really needing that ex back. And what I like about it is the someone somewhere has managed to win their ex back under worse conditions than you. Because there's a predictable way to winning any person back. In this short amount of space, they've displayed the market's need. They've used a neat little tool here that someone worse off than me, even though I may feel that I am really bad off, has won their ex back, so there is a chance. It's excellent copy for someone suffering from deprivation. So in summary, people suffering from the vulnerability schema believe they will never get what they need. They are a mix of anger and desire. It's a roller coaster ride. Use copy that makes them want the results and makes them believe the results are possible for them. And scarcity is one of your best tools. That's it for this week. If you have any questions, you can hit me up at funnelcopyexperts.com.